just not working out. Devin is here.
Nothing to say.
Wait a minute. What is it? Okay, Sebeck.
Squirrel.
Seebeck.
Sebeck.
Yeah.
Okay, Devin Sebeck. She's an occupational therapist. And then we have Grace Castillo. She's a speech and language pathologist doing very important work. I have to say that in a different life, or younger life, I spent much time with working with speech pathologists for my daughter when she was little. She had a little speech delay, but she got over it, and she got a degree from Baylor. So everything worked out just fine because I think the speech pathology helped so much. Tell me, Devin, a little bit. This is what I find fascinating. Occupational therapists do what?
Okay, I was waiting. I was like, there's a loaded question coming. I know it.
Or, I mean, the loaded question is,
Yeah.
at what point in your life did you say, I want to teach people how to dress themselves or do those basic things again? I mean, there's
That's
always
impressive that you knew that.
There's
Thank
always,
you.
there's always, I have a sister-in-law. I guess she's an ex-sister-in-law. I don't know. She's still my sister-in-law, but she's an occupational therapist.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
All
So
right.
I know.
So you have a little background with
I have a
it.
little background in it, but I do know that it's important as
Yes.
well. Why did you want to do this, and what do occupational therapists do, in your words?
So honestly, I wanted to do this. I was in high school, had to have a knee surgery, met with physical therapist, and was like, hey, I could do this. And so I went to our local hospital, and I was like, can I observe? And they're like, sure. And so I observed with physical therapy, and I was like, all right, maybe. And they're like, hey, we have a cancellation. Why don't you go see what our occupational therapist does and then our speech therapist? I was like, cool. And immediately just fell in love and was like, no, I'm an occupational therapist.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
it really, in
Right.
a nutshell.
And so for you, it's interesting, like how many times I interviewed these young ladies at Ingram Tumblr High School. They were all kind of pre-nursing students, and how many of them were influenced to get into nursing or get into therapy in some ways. Usually with a family member, they had to they were observing being cared for. But for you, it was your own sort of care as well.
It was, and then also my grandfather had dementia and needed a lot of help, and so we're a very close family, and so all of us kind of helped my grandmother out as much as we could.
Yeah.
She obviously did the majority of it living there, but it was a very eye-opening thing, and I think there's a lot of things with him that helped me have a lot of empathy in my job.
It was interesting. Yesterday, we had a great conversation with Brenda Thompson and Paige Sumner of the Dieter Center. I was just trying to have you on about this too, but you were...
my bad. Sorry.
You were
I was
flying
flying back.
around Steamboat.
No, I was done skiing at that point. I was just flying back.
But we talked about the Gene Hackman story, and how horrible that story was, that the primary caregiver dies suddenly, and then the dementia patient, and there was no one to check on him.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of insular, So this is one of those stories. But you saw that for yourself, how tough it is on the caregiver to do that as well.
Absolutely.
All right. So then we have Grace Castillo, and how long speech path? That is a tough deal, helping people learn how to talk. Do you work with adults or kids or stroke victims? Tell us your background a little bit.
Sure, I'll answer kind of both questions. So I thought I wanted to be a teacher in an elementary school or some sort of...
We saved you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So when I was in 10th grade, so high school actually as well, I had a mentor who said, well, you know what? If I were able to go back to school instead of being a teacher, I would go into the speech field because you're teaching kids how to speak efficiently, all of those things. And you're like a teacher, but you're more one of the good guys. Because sometimes teachers get a bad rap.
Yeah.
So I was able to shadow, kind of like Devin, and was like, this is exactly what I want to do. So since 10th grade, I knew that's what I wanted to do. But through graduate school, I realized kids are great, but they require a lot of energy. So I really found a love for working with...
Oh, you saw the two boys here earlier?
I love kids, though. I do want my own.
Yeah.
Oh, I love kids too. I don't want my own, so it's okay.
But yeah, shadowing and observing adults, I felt like it was different because they have something that they know they've lost and they want to regain. So it could be their
Absolutely.
speech, their swallowing, any type of communication deficit, cognition. Devin talked about a grandfather with dementia. You know, we do work on those things and try to improve in those areas, or even, you know, do caregiver education. So we're really trying to improve quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, with kids, I feel like their parents kind of force them into it. And they don't know they're working for candy and games.
Yeah.
Whereas adults, they know what they want to
They
get
know
back
what they want to do with this, right? Yeah. It's such an, you know, the thing that I think is impressive about Peterson is there is this, I jokingly call it a gang, but the therapy people, you guys are tightly wound, tightly knit. But this is the heavy lifting, you know, that happens, you know. How quickly do you come in? Let's say I'm a stroke patient, you know, and I've lost a lot. How quickly before I see you two? Like, when do you guys come in? When does that assessment happen?
You see Grace really fast.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We actually have kind of a system in place at Peterson where they do kind of nursing swallow screenings, and if they're not passing their swallowing screening, we look more efficiently at their swallowing, their speech, communication. So we do have speech go in pretty quickly. We try to see them probably within the first 24, 48 hours at most.
And you'll see OT and PT come in pretty quickly in the hospital. Grace is over at the hospital in the rehab unit. I actually work in the outpatient clinic.
Okay.
So I see people generally
Right.
a little bit later in their journey.
Because the occupational therapy unit, and correct me if I'm wrong, is your area going to get renovated here, or is it already
At
underway?
the ACC, yes.
Yeah. So that's coming, right?
Yes. We're excited.
But you have like an apartment, right? Is there an apartment
in the rehab.
In the rehab, right? So you can teach people how to kind of get back to life there, essentially,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
It's wonderful. Oh, sorry. You go ahead. I used to work over there, and so I would use that apartment a lot, especially as OT. And we even had there's another area that actually has a tub, so we could practice getting in and out of your tub, because that's such a challenge after a stroke as well if you don't have a walk-in shower.
Yeah, I mean the thing about occupational therapists too is that you guys, I don't know how to say this exactly, but I'm going to give it my best shot here. Nothing would surprise you. And I'm sure that there's people out there who are like very modest or they're embarrassed. How do you help them with that? How do you help people get over that?
Yeah. So exactly. As an OT, nothing phases me at all, or phases most of my colleagues. But for patients, you know, that might be the first time they're having that experience. And so just like talking them through, like, this is a part of my job, you know, I work with people daily on this, and then we just try to give them as much modesty as safely possible. Like, we can't always just leave someone in the bathroom, but we can do certain things to help them stay covered up if they need that.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that I would be like the most, you know, worried about personally. Like, I don't want anybody to help me with the bathroom, but that's just part of the deal, though, you know. And I think this is what makes the work so courageous, is that you just, it doesn't surprise you. You just get it done. So.
Yeah.
The cool thing about not only do they have the apartment over there on the third floor, but Grace was also one of the ones that worked hand in hand with HEB for a grant to build the mock HEB store on the third floor.
That's right.
So that their patients could work on the abilities to go back out in the community and do things like shopping.
How did that come about? Tell me about that. I know that story a little bit, but tell us more about that in detail.
Sure. So our director, Elizabeth Johnson, you know, she is full of these amazing ideas and asked for us to make them happen. So she was dreaming of just, you know, a mock grocery store. Community reentry is one of our biggest things that we work on in rehab. So I looked online, I reached out to HEB, found out they have a scholarship grant department, and I put together this whole application. It was a very lengthy process. Probably took almost 2 years. But we were granted $20,000 to build this HEB that we have. We had their marketing team come in, design. They built the whole thing. Elizabeth, along with my supervisor, Steve, we kind of did like the measurements and things like that and order different parts to make it more of like a grocery store. But they designed the whole room for us, and it's been great. Our patients love it. We try to use it every day if possible, if not weekly basis. But yeah, it's a really great addition to our rehab unit.
Right. And this is something though, like, is there any other, dreaming of things too, as far as tools that you need to do your job? Like, what other things do you need or foresee having to use in the future?
There's a lot of dreams.
Yeah.
It's always the big one is money.
Yeah.
There's so much that, really the rehab world could use. But yeah, money is always the issue.
Yeah.
Just got an awesome new driving simulator, though.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow. What's that about?
So, sometimes after a stroke or even with someone with Parkinson's, other neurological things, they might come in and they aren't safe to drive, or maybe they're showing some signs and they want to get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
We work on that. And I do have people that we get back out on the road between me and their doctors. And, but then other times it's when people aren't safe and they don't necessarily see or understand those things, that when we can get them and put them on the simulator and I can show them or play it back to them, hey, this is what you were doing in that vehicle, then it's a little bit more eye-opening. And I think it helps the family members make that decision with their loved one, or like, okay, really, I need to step in and help a little bit more, those kinds of things. And also helps give the doctor more data. A lot of times our docs can only be with their patients, 15, 20 minutes at times. And so they don't get to get the whole picture. And so they come to me and we have a 2-hour test and I can give them, hey, here's the data, here's the good things they're doing, the not so good, and let the docs make decisions from there.
Right. This is the thing. Like when you go to the hospital, like I knock on the wood, Leslie. I've only had to spend the night once at Peterson that was for that sleep study thing, and where the pillow was terrible. And this is why. By the way,
taking your own.
This is why you need to go to Mattress
Maybe
World.
we need a budget for that.
Yeah. You need to go to Mattress World to get your pillow.
That's right. We need the budget.
Yeah. In fact, actually, James sent me a photo.
I'm still waiting on my card. My thank you card.
I know. You got to get that done. By the way, when you look at Mattress World, don't go to the one that's on the by the Starbucks. That's not the one you want to go to. You
got to go out of town.
You got to go, and I got a photo of it. Let me get this photo here for you guys, so you guys can see the Mattress World that we're talking about.
Best pillows ever.
Best pillows ever. I slept peacefully last night with my pillow, and
I won't tell you. I had a nightmare about it. Wasn't Easter Fest. It was Turkey Fest.
Oh, my gosh.
I've been doing the Easter Fest thing, right? And I actually had a nightmare last night that instead of working with Easter Fest, we were working with Turkey Fest. And because I know you understand this and appreciate this. So,
stress dream.
Oh my gosh. So I was dreaming.
Did your teeth fall out too?
No, but wait. So we're all in this group meet chat, right? And at 4 a.m, I'm sending out a message going, oh my gosh, I just had a nightmare that we were hosting Turkey Fest. And 3 days before Turkey Fest, somebody asked me, did you order the turkeys? And I didn't know that was my job. For the love of God, I can't handle the nightmares that are associated with Easter Fest.
And turkeys probably be kind of hard to come by. They keep killing them because of the
and 3 days before the event, I don't even have time to thaw them out.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all Dalton's fault.
It's all Dalton's fault.
Okay, sorry. Back to what we were talking about.
All right. So, we were talking about all the therapy stuff in there as well. How long have you worked at Peterson, Grace?
This July will be 5 years.
5 years. Where are you from originally?
San Diego, California.
Are you really? Where did you go to high school at?
It was a private Christian school called Calvary Christian Academy.
Calvary
Probably
Christian.
never heard of it.
No. What part of San Diego did you grow up in?
Bonita.
Bonita.
Most people know where Chula Vista is.
Yeah.
One town over.
Yeah, one town over. Chula Vista is basically like right next to Tijuana. Bonita's on the other side of it. So just if you've ever been there. And Devin, what about you?
I have been in September, it'll be 9 years. That
9 years. And where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Troy, in between Temple and Waco on I-35.
Yeah.
Real tiny town.
Troy. You just drive right past it and people don't even realize it's there.
Yes.
It's like
it's like one bridge, although it's a little bit bigger now, but it's not really. I mean,
well, basically,
you should just have a blinking light.
The I-35 between, like when you drive I-35 between Austin and Waco anymore, it's pretty much one city anymore. Yeah. Because you get into all those northern parts of Austin, and like I know that they want to say Round Rock is its own place. Not really. It's Austin.
Yeah, they all like to say their own place, but they're all part of bedroom communities.
Yeah,
Austin.
you're all Austin. Georgetown, you're Austin. Temple, you're like Waco South, because Waco's gone crazy, and actually Temple's pretty good size too,
It is.
And Troy. And then there's that weird city. Was it? What do they call it? It should be Salado, right? But it's
Salado.
Salado.
I got married in
Yeah.
Salado.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Not Salado.
No, not Salado.
I was wondering.
Don't say that.
Isn't that what Texas would call it though?
No, it's
That's almost like calling Bernie born.
They have like a big market.
what I
Yeah,
want.
that's how we know when people aren't from around here.
Yes.
Barn.
They say, "How do we get to Bourne?" And you're like, "Bernie."
Yeah.
Or they go, "Leaky." Can I go to Leaky? And you're like, "It's Lakey."
But but you got like they whiteify.
Or they'll go, "We'd like to go to Bexar." That's always my fun.
Yeah.
And now I just
Yeah.
say it for funsies because
Yeah.
it's fun to say.
The one that gets me is Blanco. I want to go to Blanco. Not Blanco? No. Anyway, all right. I'm glad you guys are both here as well. Where'd you go to college at?
So I did my undergrad at Texas Tech, and
Okay.
then I did my master's for OT at the UT Medical Branch in Galveston.
Oh wow. Okay. And what about you, Grace?
I did both my undergrad and grad in Los Angeles at Biola University.
Oh, Biola, the Bible Institute of Los Angeles. Very good. And then how'd you get to Texas?
That is a long story, but to shorten it, my parents moved here. Less than a year later, I kind of followed them.
Kind of followed them.
A little tired of California.
Did they come to Kerrville specifically or Texas?
Yes,
They came to Kerrville.
Yep,
Oh,
they're
nice.
here.
Nice.
Yep.
Good. They're expats. A lot of the California expats. Well, when you go to, I'll share this, Leslie. I had one of the most miserable driving experiences trying to get out of San Diego County into Riverside County. It took me 2.5 hours.
I believe it.
And I was like, okay, wait a minute. There's a Border Patrol checkpoint in one of these places, and they've reopened some of them, right? But this one was not reopened. It was just traffic. It was just unbelievable traffic. And you're 100 miles from San Diego. You're 100 miles from. So I'm like, God, get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me back to Texas. And then I drove through Austin. And I was like, well, it's kind of the same thing. Okay. Did you know that Texas Tech, Lubbock, is the #1 St. Patrick's Day community in the state of Texas?
I did not know that, actually.
You guys are both wearing green, so that's solid. So. Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we don't even have to dress up on Monday. We're set.
Yeah. Leslie, what kind of things do we have going on?
We have
Tell
a
us.
big weekend of things. We got all kinds of stuff. Let me get that pulled up. You'll probably notice a lot of Porsches in town because we have the Texas Hill Country Rally is in. So there's a Porsche rally. That is not open to the public, but you'll see them driving all over the roads. So, and there's some really cool cars that come for this rally. You've got Sherman Lee and Lou and the Met Cowboys over at the Museum of Western Art. Go see that exhibit. It is stunning. They've also been having the Living Legend mini day camps all week because in Texas we have like we essentially have 3 spring breaks. I know KISD's isn't until next week, but in the tourism world, it already started for us. Like we're getting our first round of spring breakers. So if you're on spring break, go enjoy the Living Legend mini day camp going on at the Museum of Western Art. Of the Earth exhibit is on display at the Hill Country Arts Foundation. That is a stunning exhibit as well. Free. Go see it. Support some local artists as well as the exhibits over at Kerr Arts and Cultural Center. Today at 10:30.
By the way, breaking news. I just got a text message from Jennifer Kramer saying, don't forget about Parkinson's Palooza in April.
The real reason why we're here.
Take it over.
I just want to make sure we get that in there because it was kind of. They're like, but wait. So yeah,
Do you expect me to have discipline in this show? Remember what you talked
Well, no,
about?
because I've seen the squirrels all over the place.
Okay,
like
wait a
I'm
minute.
sitting here playing with this guy. Come
Okay,
on now.
All right. Continue on, Leslie.
Did you make sure? Did we talk about it?
No,
Do we know
we'll-
about it?
We'll squeeze it in.
Okay.
We'll squeeze it in.
Is it happening this weekend?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I was like, I'll get it in there.
Just make Devin and Grace come back.
You guys, we were talking about the free reading program for kids after the dementia thing, but Sprouts is going on at Riverside Nature Center at 10:30 today. It's a free reading program for your pre-K and under kiddo. Get them signed up. It's a lot of fun. Tonight, you already touched on this, Arcadia Live doing back with their iconic film series, Singing in the Rain, tonight. Do your vocal warm-ups for that. That's going to be a good one. You've got live music this evening also over at Howdy's with Johnny Adair. And as we get into your Friday, senior lunch and bingo over at Doyle. That is tomorrow, 12 to 2. So if you're a senior, go enjoy a delicious lunch and play some bingo. You might win something really cool. There's a bonsai bonanza workshop at Riverside tomorrow, also from 1 to 3:30.
That's kind of. I might go by and do a story on that because
you should. It's super cool. Yeah. I didn't even know we were doing this, and I'm on the board there. I was like, this is a great idea.
Pay attention, Leslie.
I was in Denver. Let's see. We've got live music with Sean Kendrick on Friday from 5 to 8 over at Turtle Creek Olive and Vines. Stan Morris will be playing over at Cafe at the Ridge Friday evening. And then in 6 days, we'll be here at Pine Plow as well. Karaoke, if you need to be the star of the show, will be going on at Inn of the Hills on Friday night starting at 7. And Heartbreak Outlaws will be playing at the Wayo Ranch Hotel. As you get into your Saturday, start your day with farmers markets. Great way to support local businesses, and there's a lot of goodies there. Hillside Harvest Market is at Carlson Law Firm at 5 Points from 8 to 1. And if you meander on down into downtown Kerrville on Water Street, you'll find Heart of the Hills Farmers Market, and that is like 10 to 2. Both have great goodies. I've been stopping by the Czech lady. She's at the Heart of the Hills. Mm-hmm. She has fantastic pierogies. They're delicious. And then I bought a bunch of kolaches from her to take to a meeting, and we all fist fought over them.